Okay, I've been traveling nonstop for 25 years and in 114 countries. And I'm a digital nomad. I've made a website completely remote. And one of the things I accidentally learned because I had two computers for a while is like I bought a new computer and I didn't know what to do with the second computer. And I was just carrying it with me. And I realized, uh, quite by accident, that having two computers was highly beneficial. And I have we were upgrading our Android app, and I need my partner Andrew recommended that I go to a new cell phone. My ZME phone was a good one, and but I upgraded to a higher level of Android app. Right, they got different levels, Snapdragon, blah blah blah, up level, and I uh, I now have two extra phones. I have my primary phone, and then I have two extra phones, and then I have one computer and an extra computer. And what I'm doing, which I think a lot of you might find very beneficial as business guys, is a lot of you are packing and unpacking a um, a laptop, right? So I have this bag right here where it's carrying my laptop in. And I'm going around Indiana here, in northern Indiana, and I'm going to the library and I'm doing different things during the day. But what happens when you pack things, there's always the risk of missing something in the backpack, right? So you pack your laptop and then you forget the cord or something, or forget an adapter or whatever. And it gets to be really tedious because you're packing, unpacking, and this is one of the risks of becoming inefficient. You basically forget something, right? Well, what's interesting is I've now kind of like almost made a bug out bag, digital nomad bag, where my laptop's in there all the time. And because of I no longer save any information on my laptop. I put them all, like right here is a 512 gig chip. Okay, I have right now, I don't know, I have multiple chips, but I have two 256 gig whatever chips, and this is a 512 gig, and I'll get a couple more of these. And they seem to be very stable as far as saving memory. And then I I mirror these chips and I back them up. And so I have two chips with the same information, two chips with the same, and it's a way of being safe on my knowledge. So if one chip, I lose one chip or whatever, I could just use the other chip. And then there's also ways to backing it up on the internet, but I don't do that. I don't use Dropbox anymore because it just wasn't upload, download. It was too complicated. It didn't make it easy to do it. It's much easier just to have a second chip. And I wish I had 4 ports on each laptop, but I've only paid about $225 for these Hewlett Packard laptops, and they're quite inexpensive, and they have very little memory on them, but they're really like a port, right? They're not really they're a workstation, right? They're not a computer like a desktop. And I don't have a desktop because I'm a completely remote digital nomad, right? But the interesting part is I'm starting to realize that I can actually treat each computer, even I could even go into the library and use their computer and almost totally do it. Now they don't have the programs on their computers that I need, right? But there's a lot of programs like Google Docs and Google Sheets and different programs that are online. So a lot of times I try to use the online programs. I have a lot of graphics programs on my computer, which is a lot easier to do it. But I mirror everything on both computers. So both computers are almost exactly the same. And then I can carry the memory and I can transfer it between two different computers if I want to. But generally, most everything I work on is saved automatically to they call it the cloud. That doesn't mean crap really. It just means to the internet, to the up uh, into a server, somebody's server, right? And this is really interesting because I really would recommend that somebody try. It's a $225 gamble. You buy a $225 computer, Hewlett Packard. I mean, this doesn't work very good with Apple because they're so expensive, right? But when I had my real estate business, I actually had 6 computers in my house, and I had different things I would do. Access the internet on one, I would have a database on another, and I never switched between program. Every single computer was used for a station, right? Because the time of setting up and booting up and doing this stuff is a lot of wasted time. So if you want to save on the wasted time of booting up, you can actually have two computers. Now I always leave my computers running except for this one in the backpack now. I have I'm sitting in front of another one right here, and this one is running 24 hours a day. And I do boot it once in a while just to make the memory cache and clean up and stuff like that. But I don't do it. I don't shut it off. It's always ready to start working. This computer I have to shut off and turn on at the library when I get there. But I'm just recommending that maybe you try this because it's a very small investment, an extra 225, maybe 250 or 300, whatever you want to spend. You don't need a computer with any kind of special bells and whistles. You just need a computer with a couple USB ports, which is pretty much standard. And you can even probably use one of these cheaper Chromebooks if you wanted to. But the idea is nothing goes on your computer. Nothing. I mean, you're really doing nothing but using the computer processing. And then you're saving all the memory either into what they would call the cloud or a USB chip. I recommend two USB chips always. Any kind of information you have, back it up in two places. And we really shouldn't become so dependent on Google Docs or Google Sheets or something like that, that if the company got split up, we would go bankrupt or something, right? Um, but it's an idea on how to be more efficient. And really what I'm talking about is saving the setup time, right? The packing and unpacking of a backpack, just leave it packed. And when you go to work, you could just use it at work, and then you put them back in the back. But you're only unpacking it wherever you need it. You don't need to use the same computer when you get home. You can because you're using ports. Each computer becomes a workstation. So workstation theory, okay? I'm putting this on my website, Autodidact's 2-hour workday digital nomad. The goal is to try to help people become very, very effective, that they only need to work like 2 hours a day. But it's autodidact is a self-taught person. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I'm very efficient about working remotely, okay? And life is good, okay? Join Everyday Hobo if you want to basically learn more about what I'm up to. We have a website that's a social network, and I'm on it, but I'm not really involved much. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not?